Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to Bet Online today to get in on all the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here. Bet Online is the world.
Thank you for making Saints Central your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Brian Brzee jumps over and get his hand on the ball. Brian Brzee hops over, didn't touch anybody, puts his hand up and gets the right hand and touches the ball to deflect the ball, and the Saints come away barely. Brian Brzee put on a hell of a game, and they barely come away with the dub, man. The Saints escape New York. Escape from New York. The Saints get to win. I don't know what to think. They barely did it. And they win. Now I'm happy because the Saints beat the Giants. We didn't beat them the way we supposed to beat them, but hell, a win's a win, right? And it also, I'm even happier that the Saints win and the Falcons lose their fourth straight game. Woo! Like the great Ric Flair says, man, good grief. Man, that was awful. Thank you, Will. Appreciate you, bro. Says Saints stink.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Oh, man. Boy, that was something else. Dude. Man. Dude, that was a hell of a, that was something else. That was something else. So the Saints improved to 5-8 on the year. We escaped from New York. Who was that? Was that Mel Gibson? No, that was who was in Kurt Russell? Wasn't that Kurt Russell? Escape from New York. Escape from LA, escape from New York. Wasn't that Kurt Russell? Man, we just had escape from New York right quick, man. 14-11 Saints win, man. I had to take a break on that one, man. I'm like, golly, damn, that was very strange. The DeMario interception that they took back when nobody touched him, them giving the Giants a touchdown early in the game when the guy didn't get in there, that was an absolute piece of garbage refereeing, but we escaped from New York. Carr landed face first in some turf. He might have a concussion. He got his arm issue there, so that's a whole nother issue to deal with Derek Carr going forward. But thank you, William said. I'll take it back. That tackling, yes, indeed, man. Woo. That was a rough one, fam. Man, that was a crazy game, man. I gotta get some, I gotta take a break on that right quick. That was crazy. Jamie says, "Duh, you know what was that? Was this game? I know, brother. Thank you. Oh man, it's not. I wanted a blowout win over the Giants because they're not very good, but by comparison, man, let me tell you, man, we barely get away with this one, but we get away with it nonetheless. All right, let's hit up the individual. Let's hit into some of the stats right here, fam. As we get a win, listen, this is a sweet win to me because what it does mean is, we get a win. We're 5-8. The Falcons lose their fourth game in a row. They are now 6-7. They're in free fall. So a Saints win and the Falcons loss. I'm good all day on that. But anyway, let's hit the stats up here. First down, Saints 18-16. Third down, the Saints were 5 of 15 versus 5 of 19 by the Giants. Giants were 2 of 4 for the fourth down. Saints 0 for 1. 74 total plays versus 66 by the Saints. 325 yards worth of offense versus 292 by the Saints. 14 drives to 13 advantage Saints. Both teams averaged 4.4 yards per play. Both Saints there. The Giants had 213 yards passing versus the Saints 200 yards. Interceptions by both parties on the play. The Giants did stop the Saints from rushing the ball. They had 92 yards rushing on 33 carries, held the Saints under 3 yards per run. Giants had $112 on 23 with averaging 5 yards per run. And remember that a lot of that was the quarterback, Drew Lock. He had 5 scrambles for almost 60 yards. So he did help elevate their run total. Saints didn't really focalize on him that much. But what really killed the Giants is that how poor they were. They had 12 penalties for over 112 yards. Saints 6 for 40. Both teams had turnovers. And the time of possession, the Saints were beating the Giants by 8 or 9 time of possession minutes early at halftime. But then when the game got toward the end, the Saints couldn't put together sustainable drives, successful enough drives to keep the time of possession out. So it ended up being 31-49 Saints versus 28-11 in terms of time of possession for the Giants this time. You look at the other side of things here with Derek Carr, 20 of 31 for 219, 7-yard average per throw, touchdown, and a pick. He was sacked once, 82.6 on the rating. He was knocked out of the game. This is another issue too, because we don't exactly know, what's going on with Derek Carr. The sideline reporter did report that that he was dealing with a concussion issue. He went down face forward in the turf, and it looked rough. He got up and was holding on to that left arm, and they said he could be dealing with concussion problems, concussion situations too. So it's not a good look on that as far as that's concerned. What it is as far as that, fam. But anyway, going back to it, Elvin Kamara, 17 carries for 44 yards on the day. Kendra Miller, 10 for 32. Derek Carr had a couple of scrambles, and one of those he got hurt. Jamal Williams had 3 carries for 5 yards on the day. Marquez Callaway, 4 catches for 51 yards on 7 targets. They did a much better job of trying to get Marquez Valdes-Scantling involved in offense. They motioned him, they moved him around, trying to get him more opportunities, more than we've seen before. Juwan Johnson had 4 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown off of 5 targets. 5 catches for Elvin Kamara on the check down off of 5 catches, 5 targets, 5 catches, 35 yards. 2 for Foster Moreau for 40 yards there, and everybody else was 1 catch here, 1 catch there. Very, very minuscule. Top tackler Ugo Amadi and Demario Davis finished with 8 tackles, a sack by Colin Saunders, a sack by Brian Brissy. They helped the Saints defense out. They helped seal the deal for the Saints today. Blake Grupe finished the game 0 for 2 in field goals. Matt Hayball had 7 punts for almost 300 yards, averaged almost 42 yards per punt. 2 of the 7 was inside of the 20, and the longest was a 50-yarder. On the punt, Drew Lock finished the game 21 to 49, 227 yards, averaged just under 5 yards a throw, had a pick, sacked a couple of times. His rating was 48.6. He was also their top rusher. 5 scrambles for 59 yards, averaged 12 yards. Scramble Tracy Jr., who was the starting running back, was held 16 carries to 45 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, which really wasn't a touchdown. They spotted him that. So the Saints did a really good job in terms of just stopping the running from happening. And Drew Lock wasn't really a guy they focalized in to do it. He was able to take off and gain some ground. Malik Neighbors, 10 targets, 5 catches for 79 yards. Daniel Bellinger, the backup tight end, had 5 for 45. 4 from Wayndale Robinson for 38 yards. And Tyrone Tracy Jr., 5 catches for 38 yards. Slayton was thrown at 6 times, 2 catches, 27 yards. That top tackler was McFadden with 11 tackles, 1 sack by Brian Burns on the day, along with Kayvon Thibodeau was for what they had. So outside of that, Trey Hawkins had to pick on Derek Carr. He did throw the ball up for the pick, and that's how the Saints ended their situation in terms of that. And also, man, like I said, we're going to kind of dip over into the post game. Once it becomes available, man, we'll get right on over to it and do it. But right now, really, to be quite honest with you, man, the team did a fantastic job insofar as defensively speaking. They kept the Giants pinned down. They kept the Giants pinned down. The offense just couldn't get going. And we got problems offensively, man. Big problems. The offense is not flowing. We had a couple of drives where you see them get going, and then the rest of them, we just can't seem to consistently do what we need to do. Even if I'm like, okay, let's just focus on getting 3 touchdowns a game, however the case may be. And we just, that's something the Saints have to work on, to be quite honest with you, man. We got to work on that big time. All right. Anyway, let's go to some of these halftime stories before we're going to go back to the rest again. The Dolphins were able to beat the Jets 32-26. Like I said, the Saints escaped from New York. Kurt Russell and his joint 14-11, and they escaped from New York because them referees was cheating their asses off. Let's just be honest. They were cheating their what's off. They were giving people touchdowns that didn't make touchdowns, taking touchdowns off the board for people. They were cheating their asses off. But we escaped from New York. Jaguars beat the Titans 10-6. The Falcons go down again for the 4th straight time, 42-21. Got blasted up there. Very happy for that. The Eagles beat the Panthers 22-16. Browns fall to the Steelers 27-14. The Buccaneers did beat the Raiders, and now the Bucs are in control of the NFC South. Bucs have it 7-6 now. They're climbing back in that thing and making it pop. So we do have this team later on. Of course, the Thursday matchup had the Packers losing to the Lions. That was a good game there as well. So anyway, a lot of stuff twisting and turning, man. And then, of course, on the games going on right now, you have the Seahawks on the top of the Cardinals 10-7. No score in the Bills-Rams matchup. Bears trailing the Niners 7-0. And, of course, the later on game, Chargers and Chiefs. So the Saints escape with a victory today, man. And that was big for us to get the win and improve to 5-8 on the season. So how you love that? How you love that? We all right. Like I said, we needed to win, blow out the Giants, and unfortunately we didn't blow them out. Derek Carr suffered this horrible injury. So that's a question mark going forward, is what happens with Derek Carr. He is starting quarterback. We got to then cycle in. Do we go back to Spencer Rattler? What happens? You've seen Jake Haener come up in there. Jake Haener really, thrown in the game, and he looked like what a young, inexperienced quarterback looks like. But where do we go? It's all uncertain what's happening with Derek Carr. That's the big point. A contention after the Saints get the win, but losing Derek Carr, what does that mean? Anyway, yeah, big time escape from New York. We escape from New York. Thank you, Tasha. Shout out to you. Says Q. Woo! That just took that woo! That Ric Flair. Woo! You know, I used to be, you know how Ric Flair used to do it, man. I'm gonna have to put Ric Flair on here to do it, man, because Ric Flair, that was one of them, because I had to sit there for a second. I had to sit there for a second and be like, woo! That was one of them situations, man. You know, I was like, man, that was a lot going on there, fam. I mean, shit. You know, like I said, cheating referees, craziness. You know, I had to bust a Ric Flair woo on that, man. That was going crazy out here, man. It was messing up everything. Matter of fact, let's hear from the man, the legend.
Is this what that?
Woo! All right, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. And this thing, Pop, you got a lot of noise behind you, man. I can't hear you that good.
Hang on 1 second, Tom.
All right, we're gonna bring Pops back in a moment, man. He gonna pop in there. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. Ric Flair talking his mess. Y'all heard? That's before it, you know, all this popping stuff, man. Ric Flair was talking his mess. Yes. All right. Thank you, Tasha. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to you, man. Milton says we need to clean up, man, to mop this mess.
Thank you.
All right. Here can clean up, man.
I'm a friend, but I'm the cleanup man.
The reason I know so much about him is because he's moved up an old girl of mine.
Swept her right off her feet and into the jag.
This way my brother used to dress long years ago.
Oh man. Hey,
Uncle Leon used to dress like that long years ago.
he ain't used to dance like that, did he, Pops? He ain't used to dance like that, did he?
You're just a little bit more cooler than that. That's all.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But yeah, Pops said good. The Saints won. I call it escape from New York. That's what I call it. Escape from New York. The Saints escaped from New York. Referees was cheating their asses off in that game. They gave, like I said again, they gave the Giants a touchdown. They didn't even get in the end zone. They took away Demario Davis' interception return for a touchdown. Said that he was down when nobody touched him.
Nobody.
I don't understand. So they were out there cheating their asses off. So I'm just happy we were able to get out of there with a loss. Plus losing Derek Carr, that was a whole nother thing altogether, man. So it is what it is. Plus, I'm you know, it's not exactly the type of win I want. I wanted to see him to go up in there and just smack the hell out of the Giants and beat them in the ground. But that didn't work like that. We get a short win, 14-11. The Falcons got knocked off. They lose 4 games in a row. I'm really happy the fact the Saints did win today, and the Falcons lost their 4th straight game. So I'm very happy about that. So anytime the Saints win and the Falcons lose, as you can see here, it's the Falcon shirt, the official score tee that I wear from time to time. This is the score before it changed. Of course, y'all know the score tee. I got this one on.
He lost again.
So the Falcons crashing out, right? Well, the Vikings played them and smacked the damn feathers off of them, just like the last 4 teams did. They ain't got no more feathers. They flying and crashing and everything. It's just a ugly ass turkey up there flying around, man. So it's over with for them, you know. But Pops, what you think about today's game, man? Welcome to the show. What are your thoughts?
Well, they played a little bit better than they did. I mean, they still revert back to some of the same plays, the predictable plays, and New York was smacking them down when they try to run those plays. The unfortunate that we lost. I don't know how bad Carr is. They didn't cart him off the field. I know he kind of went out on his own power. Hopefully he'll be all right. But they won. That's the most important thing. Defense played a good game.
excuse me, because they held New York down, and I like the way they did that. They played pretty good. They could have got more interceptions because they were getting hit in the hands. But they got hit in the hands a couple of times and didn't catch the ball. I know Chase Young got hit right in the hand. Got bored hand, dropped the football. You gotta get turnovers to kind of smack New York. You could have got a couple of turnovers. New York would have been done like a Christmas turkey. But you know, yeah, like a Christmas day had been done. But they kept on hanging around. They almost got back in it. That boy got that field goal. We've been talking about overtime right now.
That'd have been crazy too.
But I thought I believe what his name is, Rizzy blocked it.
Brian Rizzy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he got a finger or got a hand on it. Because they've been doing pretty good. They've been blocking the ball all day. They must have been about 3 or 4 times they actually batted the ball away. So they did a pretty good job keeping New York out the end zone. They got that 1 touchdown, but that was it.
Yeah, Pops, I've been saying it, man. This is Escape from New York, man. And you can see right here, got Kurt Russell. Got Kurt Russell on the screen. There's Kurt Russell here. It was definitely Escape from New York. Them dogs was cheating their asses off, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. We definitely. I'm glad we got out of there with a win. That was one of the poorest, corrupt games I've seen in a long time. With them trying to do, and I was like, what's the spread on this game for these dudes to manipulate? But remember, that's how the games are controlled through the officials, so that the blame stays with the official. It never goes beyond the officials, even though they're part-time people. Nobody in the world puts the importance of NFL games in the control of part-time referees unless they're controlled by somebody else. So I mean, that's how the corruption it goes through, and this was very poorly officiated. They don't even talk about it, don't explain it. It's a big piece of garbage, in my opinion. Anyway,
I didn't see where DeMario went down. I mean, he got interception. He got up, started running. He ran over to the end zone, but they didn't call a touchdown. To me, I'm still trying to figure out what was up with that.
I don't understand what happened there. I don't understand. And Rizzy threw his hat and started pumping his finger or berated and cursed out Matt Hayball. But when that stuff happened with Demario Davis, he was quiet as a damn church mouse. And I'm like, you were supposed to throw your goddamn fist and pump it. What happened to him? I was like, man, what's going on with that? That didn't make any sense to me that was allowed to happen. He didn't even open his mouth. He didn't challenge nothing.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't say a word. He stand over there like he had glue across his lips and his mouth wouldn't open.
I don't understand. I just don't get what that was about to me. I didn't understand. What was that? That was incredibly corrupt for them to try to pull that bull crap with the DeMario. And if we had DeMario Davis, hopefully he'll get what they told him, because he actually intercepted the ball and ran it all the way. I just don't understand that. And I won't just glue in on it, but I just don't understand how he was able to make this and I'm trying to pull it up right here. This is the play right here.
He was untouched. If I'm not mistaken, he was untouched till he decided to get up and run.
This is the play right here. Threw the ball back in. DeMario goes up, intercepts the ball.
Right. I'm looking at
That's the interception.
Mm-hmm.
Interception. He falls down right there. Intercepts the ball, falls down. Nobody touches him. Nobody even comes close to him. Right.
And he decided to get up and run with it.
He gets up, run. Nobody touches him. They leave and says that he falls down here in the NFL game. He has to be touched down by a defender to be down. Nobody touched him down. He gets up and starts running. That's a touchdown. The referees called it back and said he was down here. How was he down here? They went right past that. They didn't give any explanation for that at all. And I don't understand how they went there and how they let that go like that if you're the New Orleans Saints. So hopefully we'll get some of the reporters when they get up at the presser to hear from that. Hopefully one of our brilliant reporters or ask the question about what happened with that Demario Davis interception. Did they tell you anything? So we get some clarity. Of course, the questions are going to be focalized around Derek Carr. What updates do you have on Derek Carr? Based on what the reporters were saying is that he suffered 2 injuries, one to his arm, and he had a head issue, which means he had some type of concussion issue. So he concussed himself. When he went down, he left his feet and went down face first into the turf. He concussed himself because nobody hit him. He did it. He leaped over, and I was like, oh, no, he's going to leave his feet. They tell him, don't leave your feet. Lower your, if you're going to do that, kind of just lower your shoulder, whatever you got to do.
No, I mean, he had the first down. All he had to do is lower his shoulder.
He didn't. He didn't, Popsy. He was short by 1.
Mm-hmm.
He was short. It was still 3rd and 1. So I appreciate him trying to do it because he got him. He got him 3rd and 1. But you never leave your feet. And he leaped, left his feet, and went face down, crashing into the ground.
Yeah.
Really ugly, man. So he kind of hurt himself on the play.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we gonna see about getting hearing from them, man. But the Saints are 5-8. We know that it's going to be fun watching. The Saints go forward with this, man. So the biggest thing is we got to see what's happening with Derek Carr. We got to see what's going on. Like that Demario Davis play, I'm just really pissed at that play because that's just outright corruption that we seeing in real time. Them dogs doing that outright corruption. But at the end of the day, man, Brian Bresee had a really good game. He had a sack. He had the block. Field goal at the end that basically sealed the game because that was a chip shot. He's showing his athleticism. He leaped over the guy, leaped over the lineman, didn't touch him. Literally leaped over him. This is a 6'5", 300-pound man. Leaped over the offensive lineman, and as he was going down, had the presence of mind to put both hands fully outstretched in the air, deflects the ball, and wins the game for the Saints.
That was the play that did it.
Phenomenal. That was a great effort by the Saints, and not in a more traditional approach, because a lot of people were saying, hey man, we this the Giants, but like I said, man, the Saints still got a lot of issues struggling here that we got to clean up. OG says he stupidly gave himself up. Yeah, but the thing is too, bro. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You fuck too kind.
I could respect them, bro, trying to make a play. You know what I'm saying? I thought, but when you leave your feet, you're supposed to know how to land too. And he hurt himself on the play because he tried to leap over his wide receiver. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I don't know.
That didn't look good.
No, he leaped over his wide receiver, and I was like, uh-oh. And the way he went down, it was kind of rough. So let's hear from Coach Rizzy. Here's Rizzy, man. Let's see what he got to say here. He's now 3-1 as the head coach of the team. Let's hear from Rizzy. Well, I have to thank all you guys here. We got bit.
As I just told them, sometimes you don't get to pick the formula on how to win. And maybe sometimes you think the game's going to play out a certain way, plays out a little different. We didn't particularly have a very good fourth quarter there, but found a way to make a play at the end of the game. Obviously, Brian with the huge block, phenomenal job by him. But listen, the things we did well, obviously our defense, pretty much controlled the entire game until the last quarter there. They started to move the ball a little bit, and obviously had a couple of chunk plays. But overall, obviously very happy with the defense in terms of the way we stopped the run. Overall, Drew Lock ended up being their leading rusher. That's something we got to look at, something that's kind of hit us a few times this year with the long quarterback scrambles. We got to examine that a little bit. But as far as their actual running game goes, the 2 running backs combined for 53 yards, and that was a huge part of why we thought we could win this game today, and it's a huge part of why we won the game. We got to get some things cleaned up. I thought our offense and our special teams had one of the worst halves of maybe the worst half of the year in the first half. We turned around and made some plays there in the second half, and obviously it's kind of ironic that we end up winning the game on a special teams play because we were having one of our worst days in recent memory. So, but again, great job of finding a way to win. It's never easy to win in this league, and so at least we come out on the road. We respond from last week. We get a W and go home with a win, and try to figure out some of these other things we got to get figured out. Yeah, listen, he's got a left hand that they're looking at. We'll kind of see what's going on with that. I really don't have any other information than that. They're going to do all the scans and the X-rays and all that, so we'll kind of play that by ear. But when he dove, when he made a phenomenal effort on his part to try to keep our drive going and get a first down there, just an unselfish player diving over the top there. He came down, and I think he tried to put his hand down to brace himself, and I think he just hurt his hand a little bit. So we'll see what they say.
He said it was a concussion too.
Yeah, I also believe he might be in the concussion protocol. I got to confirm that. But right now, I was really talking more about his hand. He may be in the concussion protocol as well. We'll see what happens there.
It's his left that was announced.
It was his left hand.
Rizzy, the cameras caught a impassioned exchange between you and A-Ball after that. Time to turn that call. Just kind of
That's what you're calling it, a passionate exchange. A passionate exchange. Well, listen, I'm passionate about everything. And listen, everybody has a job to do. Everybody has a 1/11th to do. You guys that follow our team know that I'm a big accountability guy, and that was a big part of our game plan today. And he wasn't executing the game plan. So I'm gonna say this: his last punt was outstanding, and it really helped us. Actually, I think his last 2 punts, second to last punt in particular, was really, really good. It pinned them back, didn't get any return yards. That's really what we were trying to do all day. Our first 3 punts weren't good enough. And so that passionate exchange, I let him know that that's exactly how I felt. So it probably came across a little bit more than that, but me and Matt are fine.
Appeared to be talking to both of y'all during the exchange.
Yeah. Listen, I love AK because AK is a guy that's very, very observant and sees everything. And you guys know that have followed AK for a while. He's a little bit of like a lay in the weeds guy, but he sees everything. He's very, very observant, and he just was trying to be the peacemaker there. So, and he came back around and said, "Riz, man, I never know you'd lose your shit on the punter like that." So I mean, he was just trying to calm me down, Listen, he's a team guy, but that's kind of where we're at.
Could you talk about the athleticism from Rizzy on that block field? I mean, it was a crazy play for his side.
Phenomenal. Let's play that we started practicing. We've had it in a few times. We kind of put it in this week on Friday. We repped it a couple times on Friday, and it was kind of like we were out there on the field, and it was like we were running it. We're like, hey, you never know. Game could come down to this, and look what happens. It just goes to show you, though, a guy at his size, the athletic ability he just displayed. And I've seen him do it all the time in practice, so I knew he could do it. We were discussing on the headset, myself, Phil, Galliano, and Marwan. We were deciding on what call was the best call, and we were kind of going there. And the last ball that he had hit come out a little bit low, so I wanted to get that, some pressure there in the middle. But really, just an unbelievable, phenomenal job by Brian. Individual effort. There's some other guys there working on the play too to make sure he gets freed up. But outstanding. And it was great to see him make a big play like that, and really game-winning play.
It wasn't just that play today either. He had a sack.
And really the last couple of weeks, right? And we talked about that during the week. He's a guy that just I feel like his best football is still out there, and you see this flashes of brilliance out of the player between the pass rush, the field goal block. He's made a couple of huge plays a couple of weeks in a row. You're seeing a lot of the reasons we drafted the player. We drafted Brian in the first round. And so these are some of the things. We talked about some of the things he continue to get better at, first, second down. But, man, his pass rush, his field goal rush, those things have bbeen outstanding.
Can you talk a little bit about how important the victory was in terms of keeping you in the mix at this point in the season?
Yeah, huge. I know another one of the teams at the top of our division lost again today, so that it keeps us in the mix. I mean, listen, we're down here to the end of the year. It's the middle of December already, and when you're playing games that still matter and still count and still have a chance to affect the final outcome, that's a big deal. And so here we are with 4 to go, and so as I just said to the guys, that's why we practice with a purpose. We go through the week with a purpose because we're still playing. We're still in contention, and so trying not to be a big picture guy, but it's always nice to have that out there so you can focus on the now and not worry about that, and that there's still that opportunity for us.
Now that it's over, can you say what this meant to get this win here? And were you able to hold off those emotions for most of this week or this day?
Yeah. Listen, I was able to see a lot of family and friends. Phenomenal. My 3 nieces were here, cousins, friends, high school. The high school coach at Bergen Catholic was here. Bergen Catholic had a big contingency. It's congratulations to them. Just 2 Fridays ago, they won the state championship right here on this field against Don Bosco. So another state championship for them. So it's great to see all those people, my friends I grew up with. Some family, so I got a little emotional there when I came out to the field and saw all them, out there, my immediate family, all those, so just really, really cool. And, but as I said at the beginning of the week, once the game kind of started, you got to forget all that. But listen, it's, I'm not going to sit here and try to BS you guys. It's to come up here in my home area and get a win on the visiting sideline is something that I probably told you would never ever happen in my life. So that's pretty wild, pretty crazy. And back to focusing on the Saints now and get back on track for next week.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you liked from Kendre Miller and his return today?
Yeah, listen, I think Kendre again is showing you why we drafted him where we drafted him. He made some really, really dynamic runs. I thought, Kendre has the unique ability of making an 8-yard run look really, really good, and making people miss. Getting some tough yards. And again, just a small sample there. But again, the touchdown run he has where he just keeps his, power. And when I talked about in the beginning of the week, a change of pace back, that's really what I was talking about. A guy that can just have a little bit of a different style. And that's a big deal. We're losing Taysom. We don't become one-dimensional with Alvin. We have another guy that can get us some tough yards. And so he had a nice kick return today, right? I don't know off the top of my head how many yards, 31-yard kick return. That really nice touchdown run, some really good, make you miss. So, Kendre's got to just stay consistent. That's been his thing, right? So we got to do that again next week. We got to have another good practice week. We got to just, stay healthy. And so those are the things. But you saw the flashes today of the athletic ability. That's the guy we knew we were drafting.
Got a guy like that, and he maybe beaten down mentally a little bit from all the injuries and all the the doghouse talk, which obviously you addressed. How important is getting on the field and actually doing it as opposed to you can talk all you want?
It's very it's very important. It's very important to get out there and just show. There's you can always sit here and say well this and well that and maybe this and maybe that, but to actually show the proof. And that's the thing about Kendre. The times that he's been on the field for us, like today, you see it. And anybody that knows football sees it. You see a very good running back. That's what you see. And again, is he there yet? Has he reached the pinnacle? No. He's got plenty of room for growth. But staying healthy, staying consistent for him is the big thing. And actually coming out showing it rather than just saying, oh, he looks good in practice, or, he looked really good in college. You saw today what he did. So
to emphasize, pretty much this game offensively wasn't the prettiest, however, to emphasize on that offense and Kendre and several of the other plays, you guys had 2 long drives, 9 plays, 4 minutes, 9 play, 5 minutes. What does that say just about this overall offense and just the gradiness to find success in such an ugly offensive game? Really, those 2 long drives are the game, right? I mean, when it comes down to it, we get pinned back there on a great punt by Jamie for the Giants. And then, he did a great job punting the ball today. We really they had all the field position in their favor in the first half. We obviously faked the punt near midfield, missed it by half yard. So they had good field position there. And so they did a really good job. And so when we got pinned back and we went on the long touchdown drive, man, that was a big deal. We talked all week about we have not been good coming out of halftime in the third quarter. Our first couple of drives, our first drive, we had to pump it. In that second drive, we go down the field again, chew up a lot of clock, have another scoring drive. And so really, although it may not have been the whole picture might not have been, super pretty today, offensively, those 2 drives essentially were the ones that, mattered the most. And so kudos to them. We've got to do a better job of finishing games. We get the ball back there at the end. We don't get a first down. We come up on 3rd and short. We don't get the first. We got a punt, and we gave it back to them. You get the ball back, and I think we had 2 situations today where we got the ball back with a chance to kind of end the game.
and we didn't do that. So that's where we got to be better. But our defense clearly in the first half was much better than our offense and special teams, and held them to 3 points, and that's why we were in good position. So and it put us in a really good position to win the game at the end.
When you mentioned Brian kind of turning it on the last couple of weeks, was there something that clicked for him? I mean, obviously he's had some success in the NFL before, but there's something kind of flipped for him.
I wouldn't say anything as just one particular thing. I think Brian is focusing in on the things that he can get better at. I think BY the last few weeks has opened his eyes to some technique stuff and some things that can help his game. But man, I mean, there's a young, Brian's young. I mean, he's got a lot of football ahead of him. He stays healthy, and you see the flashes. And that's the thing. There's been times where listen. I've read the narrative. The narrative is, oh man, he flash plays and he disappears for a while. And then that's what he can't do. He's got to just be more consistent. And so the last 2 weeks, he's got a heck of a body of work. The last 2 weeks, so that's the key for him and for us is to keep him where he's been the last couple of weeks and play him more consistent.
You challenge guys with narratives?
Hell yeah.
You make them aware of that?
Absolutely. One of our goals for this game this week as a team was control the narrative. All the narratives out there. We can't stop the run. We're not a good second half offense. All the things. We were 0-4 on our last 4 road games. We were 0-2 on our last 2 outdoor road games. So those are facts and narratives, right? And so my challenge to the guys this week is by your performance, you control that. And so, yeah, not only do we challenge them individually, we challenge them unit-wise, team-wise, so I think that's important. I think it's important that those guys know they can control that.
How do you challenge them individually? I know, Peyton used to find articles written about certain players and put it in their locker. There's different ways. I mean, honestly, I don't challenge every single guy the same. I'm not going to challenge AK and DeMario and Cam the same way I'm going to challenge some of the younger guys, Kool-Aid and Trevor Penning and Tally and some of the younger guys and Kendre. There's differences there. Guys that have been doing it a long time. So I think the thing you got to be creative as a coach. You got to find different ways to challenge guys, and it really depends on where they are in their career, in my opinion. Do you take things out of the Parcells playbook?
Oh yeah, I don't want to get too many cats out of the bag, but a lot of that stuff we do. But listen, I challenge Kendre all week, and I'm proud of Kendre. But now the next challenge for him is going to be, can we duplicate, the success and duplicate the production. So appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.
All right. We got to do everything we're supposed to do here. And we got to do it all. It's got to tear it up and bring it back and do what we got to do. And, we got to tell Kendre Miller, we got to fix it. We got to fix it. We got to fix it and bring it back up, escape from New York. But listen, everybody out there, man, I tell you, that guy's raspy as hell, man. I told you. Good to hear from Coach Rizzy, man. And they'll have some more guys tuning up in just a moment, man. Here's Brian Brucey, man, to hear what Brian Brucey got to say. Here you go.
And playing to the last down, so.
Just can't give me any grief about you getting full sack instead of him getting part of it.
I had Chase yelling at me that he wanted half of it. It's like a battle. I was like, guys, you know what? You can turn it in and we'll see what happens. But no, it's we got everyone in the D-line room. We all have great relationships together. So it's just friendly banter back and forth.
Did I saw he at least got you in on the Fox post-game interview.
Yeah. He pulled me up.
Without doing that?
Yeah. He grabbed me. I was trying to run out of into the locker room, but Cam's a great leader. One of my really good friends on the team, somebody who I look up to, and somebody who's been awesome for me. Since I've been here, he's just been a great leader and a great mentor for me.
Did you guys see something with just getting a hand up in the locks throwing lanes? I think he had 4, 5, 6 passes batted down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like a not specific to him. I think that's just a something that kind of happened today. Just, I think it's an every week kind of thing. You want to get hands up, when you don't get a pass rush or you're not going to get there in time, you become, a pass defender, not a pass rusher. So, guys did a great job of that. Cam had one, I had 1 or 2. So just getting our hands in throwing lanes and trying to help the DBs out as much as we can if we can't get there.
And kind of going back to the Rizzy challenging thing, has he or other coaches brought up narratives to you saying Brian isn't this or isn't that, or They'll challenge you in that.
Yeah, no, I don't think specific to that. I think more of just, it's more team stuff. And then I think, when it comes to challenging players, I think, Rizzy does a good job of leaving that to the position coaches. And, he'll kind of oversee it all, but he has a lot of trust in the position coaches and guys like, BY, who's been awesome for us. And definitely challenges everybody on the team.
For you specifically, what has BY meant?
Yeah, BY has been awesome ever since I've been here as well. Like when I first got here, just, I came from a lot different scheme in college, which, it was different than what we play now. It was a lot of movement, a lot of stun stepping. So, there wasn't a lot of me just, playing base technique and that kind of stuff. So when I got in, he was, the first guy to get me out early to practice every day, working stuff with me. And he's just continued to do that for me throughout these last 2 years now. So he's been great. He's been great. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Hold on, I'll put DeMario back up.
Brian Bracy saying that he is going to have to fight with.
Hold on, DeMario's going to get up there, man. I want to hear DeMario what he think about that interception. What y'all doing here? What kind of crazy broadcasting is going on? DeMario walked up and they cut it off. They're like, oh, we got to stop DeMario about to complain about that interception. Don't worry, we're going to come back on to that. I don't know why they cut DeMario Davis off, man, because DeMario was walking up there, man. I wanted to hear about that interception, man. Anyway, yeah, fam, big ups to y'all, man. I don't know why they cut away from DeMario. What's the problem? Big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream as well. Yeah, it was really messed up, man. You're seeing, we barely scraped one through, but like I said, Saints survived 14-11, win over the Giants. A lot of weird stuff was going on in this game. I made mention of the DeMario Davis interception return for a touchdown that they say that he was touchdown on and nobody touched him. I just showed y'all that before we got to the interview section. The touchdown that they gave the Giants when they didn't even get in the end zone, it was short, and they just turned around and gave it to him. How about the 2 seconds that was left in the, what was it? At the end of the first quarter? Remember they had 2 seconds, or which quarter was it? They had 2 seconds remaining. And I was like, it was, what was it? It was in the third quarter, I think it was. I want to say it was one of the end of the quarters, maybe the third quarter, where there were 2 seconds remaining in the quarter. The clock was stopped via penalty. Penalty stopped the clock. So they had to execute a play to run the clock to get into the next quarter. I want to say it was at the end of the third quarter. Them dogs just say, you know what? No, 2 seconds into the quarter. I'm like, what? Where they do that at? It was just a comedy of really weird things that was happening in this game, man. I'm like, I don't like none of this. So I'm just happy they got up out of there. Plus the fact that they were able to, the Saints were able to get the dub. They improved to 5-8. They got a lot of stuff to work on. There's the stuff going on with Derek Carr, where Derek Carr is going to be in terms of his health and all that, because you got a mean Commanders team that's coming up that we got to take a look at. But just like I said, man, the referees was trying to literally help. They were trying to help the Giants win that game, and the Saints were able to come out. Brian Brissett leaped over the offensive lineman, blocked the extra point that was a give me, and the Saints survived. I don't think the Saints were supposed to win that game. Yeah, they ended the show right there. Don't worry, I'm gonna bounce back. I won't hear that DeMario Davis interview. We're gonna play. I'm gonna have to react to that one. But Pops, you heard some of these interviews. What do you think about what happened?
Well, it was some very weird.
There you go.
It was some very weird calls there, especially the one with DeMario. And the referee comes up and said, well, he gave the other defense, gave himself away. What did that mean? I mean, did he give himself up? What did he mean by that, giving himself up? And there was no way around. He didn't say nothing. He just picked up the ball and said, oh, I can run it on into the end zone. It should have been a touchdown. But the officials blew it dead. They blew the ball dead right there where DeMario was. They said, well, it's all over. I think it was very unfairly done, unfair treatment for DeMario. The referees wanted to get their behind out of New York. So they're trying to, I'm assuming they weren't trying to help him, but some of the calls that they were making was trying to help the Giants. The Giants were just so inept themselves that they couldn't even take advantage of some of the calls that the referee had given them. That officiating is depends on who's officiating. Some of these officials need to be really scrutinized more to see that they're making the right calls.
Right, Pops. I think the Saints were supposed to lose this game from a Vegas standpoint. I think the Saints were supposed to lose this game.
Yeah,
they were supposed to lose this because if the Saints would have lost this game, a lot of money because it's the Giants. The Saints were favored to win big. We're supposed to win the game, right? Right. And somebody was, I think they were supposed, because they were doing a lot of mad suspect crap in this game that was trying to favor the Giants. And the Saints won this game, came away with that block punt by Brian Rizzy toward the back end. I think the Saints was, from a Vegas standpoint, was supposed to lose this game, and they won. So I'm happy for that. All right, Rich says Vegas special plane a day Carr was in on. Thank you. Said Carr was in on. Oh, bro, I don't know, man. Derek Carr, he ain't doing too well. He took a face full of turf, man.
I don't know if he comes down. We're waiting to see.
Derek Carr took a face full of turf, man, trying to jump over the man, and then you can see right here. Look how his body bent. Like his face is in the turf.
Yeah.
His body's bent awkwardly up. So it's just we figure out what's going on with this. They'll show he said he hurt. You can see he landed on that left shoulder.
Right.
Going down face first. So he probably concussed himself, he aggravated that shoulder. And he was holding that arm. So we'll see how it all goes moving forward, man. But I get a man.
Then it looked like he turned that wrist on that left hand, when he's going down. So, and he fell on his wrist, on his hand. His hand was at a bad angle. He was trying to break his fall. And then when he did break his fall, his arm turned kind of up under him.
Yeah.
And he fell, put all his body weight on his hand, on that hand. That's why I heard Rizzy say something about possible hand injury.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But that's not his passing arm. That's not his passing hand, is it?
The right hand? The right hand is his passing hand.
Right. But it looked like he fell on his left. I'm looking at this right the way he fell. Yeah, he fell on his left hand. So I don't think it's just the damage is going to be to his right hand, but I know he did land on one of his hands. I don't know which one it is. Did you tell? Because the way he's laying down. His
right hand is cuffing the ball. The left hand is underneath him.
Right. I'm thinking that's the one I believe that he might have injured. You see what I'm saying? But we don't know yet until they get the preliminaries out the way. We'll be able to see exactly what happened.
Yeah, and then the thing about Derek Carr too is like he's been dealing with a lot of stuff here to try to do that, to jump over the receiver. And I think when he did it, the coach was like, no, because you don't never want to leave your feet unless you know how to land. And obviously, as you can see right here, this is not how you land. I mean, he land this right here. This will get your toe up. And poor Derek Carr is toe up right now. So anyway, big ups to the fam out there. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream, man. Like I said, I've been working on that Rizzy, man. OG been challenging me, OG to the third degree. Been challenging me to get my Rizzy together, man. And I've been trying, man, to get the Rizzy. So hopefully by the end of the year, fam, my Rizzy will be as good as my Mickey. So Mickey and Rizzy can have a conversation for y'all at the end of the year. Hopefully that's what I'm aiming at for my Rizzy to be up on my Mickey game, so I could be able to hold the conversation between Rizzy and Mickey.
That's good stuff.
All right, y'all. Any quick questions from the family members before we get ready to end the stream? Of course, the Pelicans play later on today. They got a matchup in San Antonio against the Spurs. It's going to be an interesting matchup there. I think it's 6 p.m. tip-off time. We'll be doing the live scoreboard. Then after that, we'll have the Pelican postgame report, a PPR final, recapping the Pelicans and Spurs matchup. The Pelicans are also a 5-win team looking to try to do a little bit better and kind of put together. All right, OG says, LMAO, you got it. I'm almost there, brother. You've been challenging me, man. I ain't want to let you down, OG. I had to do it. And I was telling you, I was trying to work out the raspiness because he ranges. He don't stay at one place. And when I listening to him, I have to be able to then, get back and forth with what I'm doing here. So I have to kind of range up and rage down and rasp, if that's a real thing, So that's how I got with the Mickey. The Mickey thing is, he's different versions of Mickey. It's an agitated Mickey. Oh, hold on now. That guy. And then there's the raspy of Rizzy is it ranges because his voice is completely blown out. Then it's his weird, then you have to throw the energy in it because if you do the Rizzy voice without the crazy unbalanced energy, then you don't really capture the essence of the sound of him, and you can't and then tap into his energy in terms of his voice and all this kind of stuff, because it got to come with all of the crazy unbridled passion and and stuff that he does. So it wouldn't be truly him, it'd be a counterfeit. So I've been working on, I'm getting close to it, but yeah, his voice is completely blown out. His voice is blown out.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Desi says, what did Derek Carr break, his hand or something? They basically saying, the issue is they said it was a head issue, which right here, you can see right here, it looked like he concussed himself. He went face first into the turf. He landed awkwardly on that left shoulder. And then, when he got up and walked off, he was holding that left arm straight, like it was a shoulder issue. Now, it could be a hand situation as well, a wrist issue or whatever the case may be. But they're pinning it like it's multiple issues that happened on this one fall. And it was a terrible fall because he left his feet and he didn't exactly have a clean runway to land. It's like he leaves his feet here and he's trying to jump over his own wide receiver. Matter of fact, right here, he's on top of his wide receiver head. And so when the receiver gets from up under him, he Supermans himself face first into the turf. As you can see it right here, he Supermans himself in front because Kevin Austin Jr. clears out of the way, and then he got a free runway to land head first into some turf and boom. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like when you drop a set of drums and you hear all of the stuff, the cymbals and every damn thing bouncing. I don't know. I don't know if there's a sound effect if you drop drums. And listen, I'm not taking light about the guy's injury because the man did, I can respect, the man doing what he's trying to make a play for his team.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm trying to make people understand what a set of drums sound like when you push them down the stairs. I don't know if I can find a sound effect that's close to that because you got to have the cymbals, and every damn thing. Like you push them down the stairs, you should all just capture that in your minds. Like if you take a full set of drums and push them down a flight of stairs, what kind of sound would it make? What kind of sound does it make? What you hear cymbals and shit, all that going on. That's what I'm thinking in my head, man, when I see stuff like this happen, man. So hopefully he'll be all right. All right. William says, Q, do you think the Saints rebuild now? Oh, no, they're not going to rebuild right now. This is a win. Even though they beat one of probably the worst team. I think this is the worst team in the NFL. The Giants, they beat them. They came out with it, but with Derek Carr hurt, and if it's a concussion, then he's definitely gonna miss the Commanders game. If it's a concussion, and based on the severity of the shoulder or the hand or whatever, the wrist or whatever the case may be, that's another thing. But that's the negative news. The good news is that it gives you a week of preparation to get the next guy involved to get ready to play. Whether that's Spencer Rattler, I'm thinking it's Spencer Rattler. I think it's Spencer Rattler. That's what I think it is, but we'll see how it all goes, man. But I don't think they do the new rebuild yet, man. And plus, Mickey Loomis will squash all attempts to rebuild because he's still in control of the team and he ain't going to do that shit. Jack says Carr looked at the schedule coming up and said, how do you get out of this?
I don't.
All right, YO. Okay. He said my new okay, I got you, brother. All right. All right. Any other questions for the fan before we go? 504 Coach says, doesn't make sense. Carr was done playing this year. They will put him on the IR. I don't think we'll see what's happening with it. I don't want to try to because I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but it was just an ugly, nasty fall the way he did this. I don't know why he left his feet like this, though, because look, if he keeps running, you can see right here, Kevin Austin Jr. has the guy blocked out. But if he goes behind, if he runs behind Kevin Austin Jr., you can see players are closing in. He didn't have to jump over him. All he had to do was run behind Kevin Austin. Run behind him. He didn't, and the guy's coming, and the guy would just simply have tackled him. But he tries to go over two players, and then they split like they part like the Red Sea, and he just Supermans himself right face first into the turf, and that's not. And then the way his body position, the weight of his body is crashing. That all the weight of his body is crashing down on the face and the shoulder regions. His body, see how his body's lifted up, his legs lifted up. All that weight is right here on his front, on his face, and the shoulder area, the left shoulder area. That's pretty rough, especially for a guy dealing with some injuries himself. So he messed himself up on this, trying to make a play for the Saints. So you got to give him some credit. The guy was trying to make a play.
Yeah,
now, people can make fun of him. People can make fun of him all they want, but I can't get a man. I got to get a man some props for trying to make. He hurt himself trying to make a play.
Right.
So a lot of people don't like Carr. I get it, but you got to give him some credit on that one, man. Because if he hadn't done it, people would have saying he's a softie. But the guy made a play, tried to make a play anyway. So, all right. Shout out to you guys. Let's see. William says no Q. Do they rebuild? Okay. Do they build? No Q. Who do they build around? I mean, man, I don't know, bro. Because the reality is it depends on who's making the calls. If Mickey Loomis is making the calls, I'm saying there is no rebuild is what I'm saying. There is no rebuild. You stuck with what you got. There is no rebuild. You don't rebuild until 2 years from now when the money is open. Because like I said, it's like you want to renovate your house. Order to renovate your house, it takes money to renovate your house because you got to take the money and go buy the paint or hire the people so they can begin to get your supplies, your materials, so that you can start fixing up and doing whatever. There is no rebuild. There's no rebuild without money. The Saints don't have any bread. Next year, there'll be 40 plus million in the red, 60 million in the red next year. And then they'll have to work contracts back just to free up enough money to be able to sign some of their free agents back and draft picks and a few cheap free agents to fill a team. And then the following year, you go 50 million into the black, but that goes down based on what you do 20 and 25. See, 26 is 50 million in the black. 25 is 60 million in the red. So you go from one end to the other, and depending on how much they rebuild, or not rebuild, rather, the wrong word, depending on how much they renegotiate contract wise from 25 will affect what 26 is. And you really don't really see any real money until 27. That's when you get over $200 million back in revenue for the team to operate. And then that's when you be in a rebuild mode. But as long as the Saints have DeMario, Tyrann Mathieu, and these contracts, Derek Carr's contract, ain't no building. Now, if you saying, who do you build talent around on the team currently, it's going to be Derek Carr, because the Saints are not going to get rid of Derek Carr. They're not. They can't. Even if they cut him, they still will be hit with $50-something million, and they stuck with him. And plus, Mickey Loomis won't let you do that. So, they right now are fixated. They're fixed in on what they have, unless changes are made at the top when you bring in somebody else to then fix what's going on, and then they'll be limited to based on the money, because this is the situation that Mickey Loomis has placed the Saints underneath. They're locked into this, and there is no way of getting out of this until the contracts expire 2 years from now. This is simply what it is, because nobody's going to take a trade for Derek Carr. He's an older quarterback with mounting injuries, and it was a stupid contract. because there's an escalating contract on the aging player that keeps accruing injuries. Tell me, and then Mickey Lomas is a genius. It's just what it is, you know. I hope I answered your question, bro. I hope I understood what you were saying. Jacob says, I think they said it was his hand. Okay, his hand. I thought it was his wrist, whatever. I mean, we'll figure it out. Matter of fact, give me a second. Let me see if I can. I was trying to look for my drums, my dropping drum effect. If you drop drums down the stairs effect. I couldn't drop drums downstairs. I was trying to see if I was drop your drums. I was trying to find that effect.
That could end up bad. You gotta watch out.
Right, drop drums. That's just all kind of calamity going on if you do that.
Yes.
Hold on, I think I might have one. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. This might be. Hold on. This might be it. Hold on. Let me see. They got drum effect sounds for everything. Let me see if this is it is.
I see a drum effect.
Let's see how this will sound. Pops, here you go. This is it. Is that about right, Pops? Is that about right? Is that about right?
That sounds about right.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's close to that's about right. That's about right. That's the closest we can get right there. That's almost close. That's all right. All right.
I'm going back to sample, the Grady told sample. Bang, wham, boom. Somebody dropped the piano on the fella.
Oh man. Hey, listen, man. It's all the good fun, fam. No, it's all good. That's all the good fun. All right, but anyway, man, let me see if I can find up the latest here on Mr. Carr. See, because this is going to be very important in terms of what's going on with the Saints going forward. And then it's just something that they reported on 5 hours ago about Brandon Ingram's, for my Pelican people, is that Ingram has suffered a significant low left ankle sprain and is sidelined indefinitely.
Oh,
so there you go. So significant. We did the Pelican Postgame report the other day, and based on the information that they were giving us, I went and looked it up in the medical journals, and it lists out as a grade 3 sprain, which would indicate a time frame between 3 to 8 weeks. I want to say that much. No, 3 to 4 months. I want to say in terms of that. If that's the case, then he bypasses the trade deadline, and this basically puts whatever trade that you was trying to get him out with in jeopardy. That just wipes it out. So we'll see how it all ends, man. But that's the stuff on him. The Derek Carr situation. Let me see if they can give us an update here online about Derek Carr's issue. And it's a lot of clowns on X, man. They be showing crazy stuff. Yeah, Nick Underhill says Derek Carr left the stadium with his left hand in a cast. So that was 3 minutes ago. He just dropped that giblet. So Derek Carr left the stadium with his left hand in a cast.
They broke it or sprained it real bad.
Yeah. And it said landed directly on the common way to fracture the wrist and hand bones. So he might have a fractured wrist, man. We don't know that for certain, but we'll have to see exactly what that is. But yeah, they have a doctor online, man, that was covering it too. Matter of fact, let me see if I can share this with you guys. This is what a doctor is saying who follows the Saints. His idea right here, what he's saying. This is the end, because we just played this with him coming down right here. And you can see right there, he tried to brace himself with that left wrist. And it came down right there in his face. So it's multiple things going on. So, and this was with Tom Christ, who's the doctor online, says injured on this play, not moving his left arm as he walked off the field, landed hard on his left hand, which would lead to concern for a wrist forearm fracture. or wrist sprain, possible shoulder, but less likely. We'll see what the reports say. Said landed directly on it as a common way to fracture the wrist or hand bones. And as you can see, this is the doctor, right? Doctor of physical therapy, board certified orthopedic specialist. Shout out to Tom Christ online, man, giving a little scoop. His physician expertise on the Derek Carr situation. So, there we go, fam, doing a little research on the side, man, because that's what it takes nowadays, man. Sometimes you can't wait for it. But Nick Underhill said 3 minutes ago said that he left the game. He left the stadium with matter of fact, here's Nick's tweets that he shared here. He said Derek Carr left the stadium with his left hand in a cast, I'm told. He also says Carr has a left hand injury, not right as announced. So that's some of the things reported by our most trusted beat writers and insiders with the Carr situation. So if that's the case, then you expect for Carr to be out for, a number of times. So we'll see it. We'll just have to wait and see, man, to the official reports, and we'll probably hear more in Monday's stream. We'll hear from him. Taylor Prince Design says, Q, the end of your broadcast is emotional, sad, like when the lights come on. At the club, right? You got to get your ass out of there. You done had enough fun. Now it's time to go. Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate you, brother. All right, thank you, bro. But hey, you had fun today, didn't you? Didn't you? Watching this sorry game today for the Saints, man. It could have been very depressing, but we kept it lively, man. We laughed, we played the drums falling down the stairs. We could have probably lost our starting quarterback for the rest of the season. But, here on the Sports Coma, man, we try to keep it lively, man. It's just what we do. But we're going to play that Demario Davis interview tomorrow because he went up to the podium and they cut him off, man. So more than likely they're going to release that interview in the terms of on their website in terms of the video. And I would love to hear Demario's take on why they just cut it off. I never seen them do that before. Demario's about to ask him about that interception. They cut that off. All right, JT says Q, Atlanta has imploded. Indeed. It says, yes, Carr is going to be on IR. Yeah, this is going to be difficult, man. So 4 games remaining in the season, you're going to have to go with your backup. I don't think after this, watching this footage, Carr is going to be available for the Washington game. What you think, Pops?
I don't see any way, because a hand injury like that, got it. If his hand's immobilized, most likely he's not going to be able to play for the Saints. And I'm a little worried about the Commanders because of the legs of Jaden Daniels. I mean, we have struggled with running quarterbacks, in this league playing against them. I mean, even Luck ran for good yardage against our defense. We still have not found ways to stop or spy a running quarterback. I know previously Peyton, people like him, they would put a spy on the quarterback just to make sure he don't take off and run if he can't get the ball out. I don't know if they have the proper personnel to do that, but it is what it is. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Jaden gonna wear us out if he's healthy. And he could run for first downs because Luck actually had one opportunity to run for a first down. But what he did, he turned to the left. For some crazy reason, I don't know what he did it for, but he turned to the left. And so he was stopped short of the first down on one of those plays. So we're not too good at stopping running quarterbacks. So we gotta get good on that. I mean, Jameis ran on us a little bit. So that's just something we got to pick up. That's going to be our main, I think one of our main focal points when we play against the Commanders. I don't know too much about them. I know they've won a few games, and Jaden is leading them pretty good, So I don't know. I'm a little worried about that one, especially when we lost Carr. Carr he's not all that good a quarterback, but he's the best we had right now. If they put that other kid, they put Hayner in there, it's gonna be three and out just about every time. But at least with Spencer, we have a guy that could possibly take off and run. Okay, so hopefully we'll be able to get the win or to take the defense playing the way they playing right now, stopping the run. But they really did improve greatly on the run stopping. I'm really impressed with them on that because there wasn't too many runs the Giants was able to get on. They had a couple of nice ones, but normally the teams just run up and down the field on the Saints. They weren't able to do that this time. The Giants weren't able to do that this time on them. And I'm looking. That's what I'm feeling the Commanders are going to do. They're going to run the ball on them. People with their running backs, and then Jaden Daniels with his legs. We got to be very good because that young man can play. The man can play. The young man can play ball. He's good. We got to be able to find out how to stop him because if you don't stop the run, it's going to be a long day for us.
Yeah, the Commanders, they won. They beat the Titans big, and they're 8-5 coming into the Dome against the Saints. And if Carr, and you're right, the reason why it's like, even though the playbook looks limited with Carr, that's just the play calling of our offensive coordinator. He will have to get for it to happen. And like I said, I'm going to just wipe Carr off the board. I don't think he returns, and he's ready for the Washington game. So I'm going to just pretend like, he's there. He's not there. So the Saints will have to get either Spencer ready for action this entire week, which means we have to open up the playbook. We got to get some things going here. I want to say it's the fourth week. So we should hear something by Chris Olave, whether or not he's getting ready to come back or not. That'll be a help too, to have Chris Olave and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Hopefully the Saints, and they're not going to do it, but go out and find some more wide receiver help to kind of help, or at least try to get Mason Tipton back involved in the offense because of his speed component, to have a guy at another weapon there. And he done inactivated Mason Tipton. He's a young player. He makes mistakes, but he's a young player. You got to let him learn.
Let him learn.
Let Mason Tipton get out there and get some play. Let him get out there because he has a speed component where he can stretch the defense. We need Pettis for the kick return game. We need Mason Tipton for his speed. The guy totally don't know how to use these guys, man. I mean, he really does. He struggled. Yeah, and you're right. JT says he's sick of seeing this Clint Kubiak dude is severely limited, man. Severely. He started off really good, and then he just fell off a cliff. His play calling is ultra predictable and laughable. In the offense, a lot of times the offense stalling and stammering is because of his play calling, his inability to get these guys in position. Oh, it's just ridiculous. But having a Spencer Rattler or Jake Haener getting those guys ready to play next week against a Washington Commanders team, that's almost a tall order. And this could basically glide the Saints into at the end of the year, because I think it'll be a tall order for the Saints to win 4 straight games. You got to beat the Commanders and go up to Green Bay and beat them 2 days before Christmas, and then beat Tampa Bay at the end of the year. I'm just saying that's almost laughable based on what they did today against one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NFL. So I just think it's a laugh in the hat, Pops. So we'll see. But anyway, to kind of end out the stream, man, and a shout out to y'all, man. Desi says, I think the Saints going to win against the Commanders. I don't think. She said, I don't think. Okay, thank you. She said, I don't think they win against the Commanders, Green Bay, nor Tampa. Yeah, these are tough teams, man. And the way the Saints look today, they can't even move the ball consistently, man. You can't do that against Green Bay. Green Bay don't play that. They'll kill you. So will Washington. They can't stop the scrambling quarterback. You had this quarterback today, Drew Lock, what's his name? Drew Lock ran around on the Saints, had 60-something yards with the scrambling to keep the offense together. I mean, can the Saints and Jaden Daniels, that's what he does. He takes off on you. You can't do nothing about it. He can also throw the ball. So it's going to be a tall order. If the Saints beat the Commanders without Derek Carr, that says a lot. But Green Bay and Tampa Bay starting to play better, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Call me blind or whatever, but I don't see it. And shout out to y'all, man. Listen, we're going to end the stream on a high note, man. We're going to go to old Ric Flair, man, and hear from Ric Flair as we end the broadcast. As the Saints did get the W today. They did beat the Giants. They're now 5-8, and the Falcons lost their 4th straight game, which is always a good thing when we win and the Falcons lose. Here's Mr. Ric Flair, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! Girl silent. It's live and in color. Woo! 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 Slow down. I'm styling and profiling. Upside down.
Oh man. All right, man. We're gonna get out on that. Listen, we appreciate y'all for chiming on the show, man. I hope y'all had some fun, man. The Saints win, the Falcons lose, and we just heard Ric Flair. Woo! And we up out of here. Much love. Who that to you?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action, the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to Bet Online today to get in on all the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here. WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That.